Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows from around world football. This weekend, Patrick Van Straten is in the Winners and Losers hot seat today because Chris Hamill is off, I don't know, gallivanting around the world, apparently.
Yeah, he and Doogie.
Easy for some, isn't it? Anyway, let's start with our first winner, and it is, of course, Manchester City. This one was sent in by Alex Pearson, 04 Pat.
Yes, and we want to focus on Raheem Sterling for a pretty obvious reason. But City are in our winners for the second week in a row, maintaining their lead at the top of the Prem. And it pretty much all came down to the young English forward. He got a 13-minute hat-trick, which secured the citizens those vital 3 points against Watford at the Etihad. It's actually the fastest hat-trick in the Prem since Lukaku scored one in 11 minutes versus Sunderland in September 2016. But
well done, Raheem.
Versus Sunderland doesn't really count. Anyway, he's now been involved in 22 goals at home in all competitions this season.
Vile.
And since signing for City in 2015, he's scored in 52 different matches. City have gone on to win 50 of those and draw the other 2.
It's ridiculous. He is honestly a contender for the best winger in world football right now.
Yeah, do you remember when he genuinely couldn't hit a barn door?
I know.
His finishing was terrible.
Pep has worked miracles with him. And I'll
Mikel Arteta.
have to say, like, Mbappe, if you can count him as a winger, Messi, obviously, I think Raheem might be the third best winger in the world.
That is a huge claim.
I'm not sure who's better than him right now, though. Mo Salah, potentially, but he's out of form significantly, isn't he?
Say he's out of form. He's like, what, second highest scorer in the Prem?
But what, 1 in 8, I think, now?
I mean, look, if you want to say anything about Joe after that, then please put it in the comments below, because he seems to make a stupid comment every week on this show now. It's a tradition.
That's a perfectly normal statement. I think
it's not that, okay, yeah, it's not that stupid, but it's extremely bold.
All right, who would you have above him?
I probably would put Salah above. It depends. Again, it depends what you mean as a winger. I probably would put him up there, but like, it's very strong.
It is
Jadon Sancho, he's quite good at the moment.
He is, but he's not as good as Raheem.
Yeah, I could agree. Anyway, Pep's side have now won 10 of their last 11 games. That loss against Newcastle, the only blip. They've made up 8 points on Liverpool in that time. And of course, goal difference essentially gives them an extra point over their rivals too. The next time they play in the league, though, they probably will be second because Liverpool have got Fulham next weekend, while City are playing in the FA Cup. But nonetheless, it's getting to crunch time now.
Yeah, crazy. And I thought City were going to go 4 points clear when Burnley nearly nicked the result off Liverpool when they went 1-0 up through the scrappiest goal ever. But not to be, and there was some controversy in this one surrounding Raheem Sterling's opener. Nobody's really sure if it was onside or offside. I think it was probably offside. I didn't really understand the laws of this one because it obviously comes off Janmaat, doesn't it? And then he scores, but he's active because it's come off of, I think it's Aguero in the build-up. It's a bit of an odd one. I think Pep Guardiola and Javi Gracia both asking for a bit more clarity after the game. But nevertheless, Manchester City were in their usual dominant form. 71% possession, 19 shots to Watford's 2. 14 of those coming from inside the box. So not a bad performance by Man City. They are absolutely steamrolling sides, aren't they, at the moment? And Riyad Mahrez making a very rare league start. He hasn't got many of them so far this season. But when he has, he's been pretty impactful. 84 touches in this one, 1 assist, 3 key passes, 3 completed take-ons, 3 aerial duels won.
What?
He truly is the B-Tech Iron Robben. You know, when he comes in on that left, very hard to stop, just not quite got Iron Robben's form. He's been involved in 9 goals in the Prem, averaging a goal involvement every 128 minutes, so not been terrible. But for a record signing of, what was he, 70-odd million?
Something like that.
You're asking for a little bit more in terms of output.
Yeah, I'd ask for him to be a starter.
Yeah, I think Pep Guardiola probably was hoping for more from him. But even better was the imperious David Silva, completed 95 passes with an accuracy of 97%, assisted 1, created 3 chances, completed all 3 of his dribbles, 2 shots. He's just incredible, isn't he? He's like a fine wine, just keeps getting better and better. But the day really belonged to Raheem Sterling, as Pato mentioned at the beginning. But I still think he's probably, I nearly said the best winger in world football right now, but the third best winger, if I'm counting Kylian Mbappe as a winger and Leo Messi as a winger. I'll put him as number 3. Where would you rate him in terms of wingers in the world? Nearly got that wrong. Wrong.
Mate, this is all over the shop.
It's all over the shop. Why don't you rank them? It's all gone wrong. Rank them. Rank the wingers in the comments below. Move on. Jesus.
Our first losers are Tottenham Hotspur. This comes from Team Mokoena 007.
I know. Good handle. Very good handle.
An FD legend, actually.
He hasn't contributed for a while, and I think this could be his first contribution in a long time. But yeah, he's obviously gone for Spurs. They let slip a big lead. They're just falling apart right now. Tottenham Hotspur, obviously against Southampton, went in at half-time, 1-0 up before slipping away to a 2-1 defeat. 4 games ago, they were 10 points clear of Arsenal and in the hunt for the title race, apparently. They are now just 1 point clear of their North London rivals. And Harry Kane, still in good form, still notching the goals as you'd expect, but they went in at half-time 1-0 up and came out second half like a totally different side. Jan Valery got the equaliser after a Danny Rose howler. What the f*** is he doing at the back post? Dummying it on the edge of his own 6-yard box for Jan Valery to tap in. Just basic. I mean, Google, get rid, Danny, because that has to go into Rose Ed. No excuses for dummying that in there. That's 2-2 for Jan Valery from right back after that 35-yard screamer against Man United.
It's unbelievable.
But the real man in form, James Ward-Prowse, 6 goals in his last 9 games from central midfield under Ralph Hasenhüttl. He is doing bits. 2 worldy free kicks in 2 weeks. I think this one was probably better than the United one potentially.
Yeah, because it's from the middle.
Yeah, and I love James Ward-Prowse. He's got a fantastic dead ball delivery, and it's great to see a manager finally getting the best out of him, because once upon a time, he was extremely highly rated, wasn't he? Going into the break, though, like I mentioned earlier, Spurs were pretty comfortable. 10 shots to 3. They'd had 66% possession. Second half, though, capitulation, Pato.
Yeah, according to XG, in the second half, Southampton really came back into it. So at the end of the first half, Spurs had 0.8 and Southampton had 0.2. Second half, Spurs got 0.6. Southampton got 1.9.
What happened?
Now, I looked that up. Tottenham have only allowed more XG against in 5 league games this season, against Leicester, against Wolves, against Liverpool, and twice against Arsenal.
That is crazy. What's happening to him?
I don't know, like, for some reason, like, it's a really weak kind of core of attacking players that they have at Southampton, but they were just able to cut through. And the frustration in the Spurs ranks was really obvious. You know, Moussa Sissoko at the end of the game rates his studs down Nathan Redmond. Then when Nathan Redmond, quite justifiably, is annoyed about this, Sissoko pushes him and then headbutts him. And Pochettino was absolutely fuming, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I think, to be fair to Nathan Redmond, he could easily have collapsed on the floor rolling, but he didn't he? He held his ground.
Yeah, he just let it happen.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, like you said, Pochettino, I mean, judging by these quotes, was not a happy bunny.
I think we need to give more on the future and increase our level. If not, we are going to struggle. I think we cannot compete only 45 minutes and 45 minutes say, okay, finish. You are going to lose. In Premier League, the quality of Southampton or the quality of any team is going to punish you.
Yeah, so while Pochettino not very happy, Hasenhüttl must be very pleased with some of the players making strides under him. I thought that Bednarek was really, really good in this game, won all 3 of the tackles he attempted, won 3 aerial duels, made 4 interceptions, made 12 clearances. Didn't get in the team under Mark Hughes.
Yeah, I know, but Mark Hughes, you know, old school manager.
Yeah.
He really gets the players
He'll
going.
do a job, Sparky. Anyway,
will.
James Ward-Prowse, as well, as you said, had an 89% pass accuracy, which is filthy for that sort of midfielder, and made 5 clearances as well. Anyway, neither side plays a Premier League fixture until the end of March due to the FA Cup and the international break. But our big question to you is, will Spurs actually end up in the top 4? In the office, the prevailing sentiment is that it's going to be Man United and Arsenal. Let us know in the comments below.
Moving on to our second winner, we have to talk about it. Bloody Arsenal. This was sent in by Blade Thunderbolt. Great.
Yes, finally, Man United have lost a league game. It's their first defeat under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the league. And the 2-0 win for Arsenal means that they've taken 12 points in their last 10 Premier League games against Big Six opposition this season. That's double the amount that they won in such games last season. So it does seem like Emery has improved them in these matches. It helped that they managed to get the first goal in this game.
Yeah.
Granit Xhaka finds a bit of space outside the box and just hits one. And to be fair, for the first kind of few yards that the ball travelled, it looked like it was going to curl to the right and go towards the bottom corner. But then it just takes a little bit of a kind of swerve, but not that big a one. No. It pretty much goes in right in the middle of the goal, and David De Gea just watches it happen.
I don't know what's going on there. I mean, the world's best goalkeeper should not be letting that in.
Yeah, but it's just a misread, and it does happen. But to be fair, De Gea has made 2 errors leading to goals this season, and both of them have been against Arsenal.
Oh, fun times, isn't it?
I think it was deserved after that 3-1 last season, where he literally saved
58 shots.
100,000 shots.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But anyway, Granit Xhaka, now 6 of his 7 goals for the Gunners in the Premier League have been from outside the box. 2 of them versus United, though one of them, I mean, it was a huge deflection last season.
I thought he was really good yesterday, actually, Granit Xhaka.
I thought he was good as well.
Dominant
I would have liked us to have had Torreira. I probably would have played Guendouzi, or at least brought him on as a sub. But yeah, I thought that he and Ramsey had pretty good games, and I think you're going to talk about Ramsey in a little bit. David De Gea has conceded 6 Premier League goals from outside the box, though, this season. That's double the number he did in the competition last year.
To be fair, the James Ward-Prowse free kick is absolutely unsafe.
Yeah,
the Jan Valery 40-yard screamer into the top bins is as close to unsavable as you'll see.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like sometimes somebody just hits it really purely, and you can't really do anything about it. But a penalty late on, a little bit soft, but could have gone either way, meant that Aubameyang had the chance to take the 3 points, and he scored, redeeming himself for that penalty miss against Spurs at Wembley last week.
I think as a Man United fan, I would take being given the penalty midweek against PSG that was very controversial to then concede this one against Arsenal. So
really,
on the balance, yeah, definitely. What, to have one of our greatest European nights, or to concede and lose 2-0 to Arsenal?
But if you'd beaten us, then you would have been like really, really strong favourites to get top 4.
But you were 1-0 up
you're
in that
unlikely to win the
situation as well.
Champions League.
You were 1-0 up in that situation as well.
I know what you mean, and I think that Arsenal actually came on pretty strong in the second half.
Yeah.
Aubameyang, good to get the goal for him. The 5th consecutive season, he's bagged 20 in all competitions. Only Salah and Aguero have scored more home goals than him since his debut too.
Wow.
But that said, it was a very tight game, and it could have been a draw. It could have been a United victory. Arsenal gave up some big chances. Yeah,
I agree. I think a draw probably would have been a fair result. I think Romelu and Rashford didn't have their best games. I thought Rashford looked really tired, and he's obviously been playing with that injury that he picked up against Liverpool, hasn't he? Battling through, because our injury list is pretty extensive. But I overall thought Lukaku had a good game. I thought he was really good in build-up, one of his better games against the top 6. His finishing let him down, but equally, Bernd Leno was on fire. He was brilliant on the day, Bernd Leno. A couple of saves, the one where Lukaku tries to take it round him, he
that's amazing.
holds his ground really well, and the one where he puts his foot out was a lovely one for a brilliant Rashford through ball into Romelu. So maybe Romelu a little bit unlucky not to score, but I thought United were actually okay in this one. And the expected goals had it down as similar to that as well. Expected goals had United with 2.2, Arsenal's 1.2, I think, then adding a pen. So a draw probably would have been a fair result, like I said. Lukaku actually had the highest expected goals of any player in the Premier League this season without scoring on the weekend. I think he had 2 expected goals by himself.
I was going to say those 2.2 expected goals must be all Lukaku.
Yeah, they're pretty much all Lukaku, because obviously that miss in the first half from 4 yards out when he hits the bar is pretty damning. Despite that, I still think it was one of his better performances against the top 6. What I will say is his record against the top 6 remains putrid. I think it's 1 in 18 for Manchester United against the top 6, whereas he's got something like 27 in 40 against the rest of the league.
27 in 43, I think.
So, I mean, I've talked about it on shows before in the past. I am going to stick with what I said after PSG, though, that I think he's improving under Ole against elite sides, but he's just got to take his chances in that game, and he probably has cost us, in terms of his finishing anyway, a point in that one. Aaron Ramsey, I also want to talk about as a potential man of the match candidate alongside Bernd Leno, because he was epic against Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba, I was pretty disappointed with on the night. At least he's had a week off. You know, he was banned in the Champions League. He was coming into this one pretty fresh. Didn't have a massive impact other than that incredible crossfield ball that was just ridiculous.
He had a couple of moments of genius. Like the interchanges on the wings were pretty amazing.
Yeah, true. But Aaron Ramsey, 8 tackles and interceptions. I think he covered more ground than anyone else on the pitch with 12.7 kilometres. It's going to be a shame for Arsenal fans when he leaves in the summer, because he's been nothing but professional, I think it's fair to say, since agreeing that pre-contract with Juventus. He's got 9 goal involvements in 1,100 minutes this season, and the top 4 is now right on a knife edge. Tottenham have still got to go away to Anfield and the Etihad. So they're probably going to drop 6 more points there, in my opinion. You have the easiest run, and I don't think you face anybody else in the top 8, do you? After Wolves?
We've got our tough games are Wolves away, Everton away, Leicester away.
Ooh, Leicester away is a toughie.
Those are not fun fixtures.
But United have still got Chelsea at home, and they've got City at home. It's going to be bloody tough. And I don't know who's going to finish in the top 4. I think we've already asked you the question, but let's just ask it again. Get your top 4 predictions in the comments below. I still think United and Arsenal.
Ooh.
Pat?
I can't.
You can.
I can't.
Come on.
Spurs and Arsenal.
Ooh.
Our second and final losers of the week are Burnley. Bit of a tough one this, seeing as they did face Liverpool. But according to King Shankly, that qualifies them for a place in our losers.
Yeah, it kind of feels like King Shankly might well have suggested Liverpool here, and we've just
feel that
tweaked
way.
it so that Burnley have to go in there.
Yeah.
A little bit unlucky, like you said, for Burnley. Obviously, they put together a fantastic run post-Christmas, but last few games, they've had some tough fixtures, and things are starting to go a little bit wrong, given that they sit just 2 points above the relegation zone. I think that's Cardiff, because there's a massive gap down to Fulham and Huddersfield. Then it's like Cardiff and Burnley battling it out for that 3rd relegation spot. And it didn't help when they lost 4-2 against the Reds. You could say it's been coming though. Burnley have won none of their last 11 away games against Liverpool in all competitions, losing 9 and drawing 2 since their last victory, which came in 1974. Ooh. So you have to go a fair while back to find that one. Stats-wise, it was pretty ugly on the day. It was a bit of a pummeling. 31% possession for Burnley. They took just 3 shots. Liverpool took 23, Ooh. But only managed 5 on target. So not that efficient on the day, Liverpool. Having said that, Burnley did take the lead. Slightly controversially, I think it was definitely a foul on Alisson. Swung in direct from a corner.
Okay.
Very windy, so it was nice that Jurgen Klopp didn't have to use that as an excuse for once on the day, but the corner went directly and it felt like Alisson was getting climbed all over. Probably should have been a free kick. That's his first Premier League goal for the club and his first in the competition since 2016 when he was playing for Aston Villa. But this is Burnley we're talking about. And now with this loss, it means they've dropped more points from winning positions in their 30 Premier League games this season with 10 than they did in the whole of last year. I think it'd be a bit harsh for them to go down under Sean Dyche. I think Cardiff are still worse than them. But having said that, they did ride their luck massively last season. So it's just on a knife edge.
And even on a day where they lost 4-2, they kind of overperformed against expected goals.
Crazy.
They had 0.5 expected goals, scored 2. They had 4.4 against, conceded 4. I mean, Liverpool were frightening. Braces for Mane and for Firmino. Mane's now up to 50 goals in 109 appearances
Not bad, is it?
for Liverpool. He's the 5th Liverpool player to score in 6 consecutive home fixtures, by the way, after Owen, Torres, Suarez and Salah.
Not bad.
While Roberto Firmino has now been involved in 100 goals for the club in 175 appearances. That's 63 goals, 37 assists. So that's actually more than any other player during Klopp's reign.
He did need these goals though, because he has been struggling at times this season for goals, Roberto Firmino.
He's not had a spectacular season.
Not had a spectacular season.
Or at least compared to last year as well, when the back half of the year they just took off. But Liverpool now have a tally of 73 points from 30 league games. That's their joint best total at this stage of a league campaign. They did it in 1987-88, that was in the top flight, and they did it in 1904-1905 in the 2nd tier.
And they're still 2nd.
Yeah.
What can they do? Poor old Liverpool. I should feel sorry for them, but I just don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
So that's it for this week's episode of Winners and Losers. But before you do anything else, Pato, what should they do?
Head over to Euro Football Daily and check out the Euro Roundup, where this week we're talking about Bayern Munich and, of course, that incident with Jack Grealish. They got knocked out of the weekend.
Rancid. Bye.
Bye.